Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty in the Frizz. My name is Cara. Whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for another one today. Today I am doing my makeup roundup for May. So if you want to hear about everything that I tried in May, some new, some old, how I'm still feeling about these products and whether I would repurchase them, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to hang out with someone that feels the same way, definitely consider joining the community. I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So I hope you all are doing well. It's crazy. We're almost at the end of June and all my May stuff is just sitting out here piling up. I'm like, I really want to do this video so I can put all this stuff away. I tried a pretty good variety of things in the month of May. I also bought a lot of things in the month of May. We'll get to that video soon. And let's go ahead and dive in. First, we're going to start with foundation. So I have three complexion products that I used in May. Well, I would say in addition to my normal. So my normal go-to face products are my Dior concealer, my Westman Atelier foundation stick. And actually, I haven't been wearing a lot of foundation. So most of the time, it's just been concealer. And as the weather started to get warmer, that's really what my go-to was, just concealer and a little powder under the eye, and that's it. But I did bring out the Fenty Beauty Ease Drops. If you haven't tried this, it's a blurring skin tint and it's not overly dewy or overly matte. I feel like this was a really good match for my skin. It's shade 13. And I was just glad to bring this out because these were really good. And you know, we have a tendency to forget about things as newer complexion products come out. And I started to get more into complexion products, but before, like, I really didn't have a whole lot. So this was something that I really enjoyed. I did use it a couple of times in May, and I'm going to continue to use this. I would say this is a little less than half full. It's something I'm definitely going to finish and definitely enjoy wearing. But again, it's going to take a while to finish this since I haven't really been wearing foundation. I also brought out my Auric Glow Lust, and this has since launched in a travel size bottle that's not glass. There is a ton of product in here, and this is something that I wear by itself on the face, or you can mix it into your foundation if you want your foundation to have a little more glow than it does. So I love this. This is a Sunstone. This one really goes with my complexion. And then I also have Pyrite, which is a little bit lighter that you can use for a highlight, or I like to mix that one in other products. But this is another good product. I think some people may find that this can be heavy if you use too much. So just don't use too much. I really like this. It's a great product. I think I'm about here on the bottle. So again, I'll continue to use this when I am looking for kind of a glowy look, if I feel like putting something on my face. Lastly, for complexion, I have the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and this is another very nice radiant foundation. I finally found my match in the NARS foundation. This is Valencia, which is M5. And again, you know, I go for the same types of foundation / complexion products. I like things that are radiant and dewy, products that have a medium coverage. I don't really go for anything full coverage, and I like things that are lightweight. So all three of these products, I feel like fit that. I still like all three of these products. They're just taking a long time to use. All right, let's move on to the next category. All right, so next we're gonna do lips. So I have a few things here. Now this is an oldie but goodie, and this is the NARS Orgasm X. It's like a lip oil, and I think it's called something else now. I'm not sure, but it was a lip oil. And I got this when Orgasm X was released, and I also got, it was a really teeny little eyeshadow palette, and then the trio that had Orgasm, Orgasm X, and then there was a highlighter, which I still use. I don't know why I don't have it in my May basket. Maybe it's in my June basket, but I still use that pretty frequently. And I bought out the lip oil or gloss, whatever you want to call it. And I don't think they have the Orgasm X shade anymore. They might, I don't know. But I still like this. I mean, and I definitely purchased this in 2020. But it is going strong. It doesn't have a smell. I like the finish and I like the shade. So I'm going to keep on going with it. I also have some glosses from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is Drizzle. And I can't remember if I used all of these or was trying to find a shade. That's like a really nude color. I also have here Ripe. There's Ripe. And you know, these are just colors that I go for all the time. I also have Sappy. Might have been using this with the So Jelly palette. I can't remember. I really do like Unearthly Cosmetics lip products. Their mattes are really nice, and so are these glosses. And one thing that I noticed with them is like they have some interesting shades. If you're ever looking for different lip colors, I would say check out Unearthly Cosmetics because they have a lot of really nice colors. I have a lip cream from Lethal Cosmetics. This is in the shade Lyra, and this came with the Wildflower collection. This reminds me of the Kaleidos lip clays. Same type of feel, same type of like cloud powder type feel on the lips, and I thought it was really nice. I was very curious about Lethal Cosmetics lip products, so I did purchase that with that Wildflower collection, and I definitely enjoyed it. I also have here a lipstick from Juvia's Place. This is the shade Soil. I feel like people don't talk enough about Juvia's lipsticks. They are really good. I have 4 of these. I think this was like the Nubian Earth collection. I think I have 5 of them. There were 6. I didn't get the deepest shade. And then I have a couple of the mauve shades, but they're really, really nice. I continue to enjoy those. I also have a lip topper from Sydney Grace. I think it's from the May bundle. It has to be from the May bundle. So this is the shade Alice, and this is a topper. And I remember saying that I wouldn't wear this one by itself. I just feel like it made my lips look a little ashy, but on top of something matte, I think it was really nice. And lastly, for lips, I'm always wearing my Maybelline Vinyl lip inks, and I think the star for me was this shade Fearless that I wore to my cousin's graduation party. I'm always nervous about wearing deep shades, but I just could not resist this one. I just think it's a really beautiful shade, and I like it because it does stay in this part of my lip where sometimes the lipsticks tend to fade, and then I feel like I can see the line between the lipstick and then my actual lip pigment, and I don't like how that looks on me. So I have that. I have Extra. I don't remember wearing Extra, but I must have. So there's Extra. And then this is Awestruck. Awestruck is like a go-to for me. I wear this one all the time. Look at that. That is so pretty. I love these. If you have not tried these, I would highly recommend these. I would say out of all the lip products I just mentioned, the Juvia's Place and these Maybelline ones, those are the ones. I love these so much. I probably have like 10 of these, and I wear them all the time. They last really long and they're not uncomfortable. They don't dry completely down, but they have very, very little transfer, and they are a little bit sticky, a little bit, but it doesn't bother me at all. I really enjoy them. Oh no, we have one more. Hold on. This is another oldie but goodie. Hold on. This is a lippy stick from ColourPop, and this came with the Wild Child collection. This is the shade Brat Pack. I really like these ColourPop lippy sticks, and I've not shopped from ColourPop in a while, but that Wild Child collection was really nice. It had like the 9-pan palette with all the browns. There were some blushes, and then there were these lippy sticks, and I think there were 3 of them, and I have all 3 and still go for these a lot. So yeah, these are all the nice new lipsticks, or not new. These are the lipsticks I wore in the month of May. And let's go to, why don't we do blush next? We'll do blush and bronzer. All right, so we're gonna start with the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick in the shade 3. I haven't been wearing bronzer as much, but when I do try to rotate them around. With this, I really just go across both shades, and this is more of a warm tone bronzer, neutral to warm tone, and I really like this bronzer. It's still going strong for me. I think because I apply my makeup so light, I may not always see like the subtle differences between some of the products like bronzers and things like that, because I really just do like a little sweep. It's nothing heavy. I'm just not a heavy bronzer person. Here I have the Hourglass Tiger palette, and I love this. I love this for a full makeup look. This is a setting powder, but I use this as a bronzer. I love these blushes here and the highlights. I think this is one of the best things I've seen Hourglass ever put out, because their palettes, face palettes, tend to look very similar to one another. They just came out with a couple recently, and I'm like, these look like everything else. Still waiting for the butterfly blushes to be released separately. Not sure if that's gonna happen, but the Tiger palette was definitely a hit for me. And like this orange blush is so good. I love what I can do with this palette. Another bronzer that I was using a lot in May is my Chanel Le Beige, what is this called? Oversized Healthy Glow Sunkiss powder. This is the medium one. I have medium and deep. This is a really unique formula for the bronzer. It is a powder, but it's kind of that baked formula, and as I said, I have 2 shades, so just depending on what I'm going for, I'll use the medium or the deep, but I am still using this. These are very expensive, so I'm gonna make sure to get my money's worth out of all of my Chanel products. Ooh, another favorite of mine. This is the Ayana palette from Adept Cosmetics. They came out with 4 face palettes a while back. I love this. I love this as a bronzer, and then taking one of these to top it. It's just really beautiful. And you know, Adept shimmers are just, they're just really nice. Now, if you don't want a shimmery bronzer, then you just use this one. But I like to use this and then this like kind of for blush. I just like the combo of that. They are really nice. I thought this was a really good release from them. And lastly, for bronzer, I have the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. Now, I want to say this is a medium deep. Hadn't used this in a while and just wanted to bring it out just to put it in the rotation. I'm always trying new products, so I don't feel at this time that this stands out in a way where I would want to repurchase this in particular, but it is nice. So moving on to blushes, back to the Adept face palettes. I always call this one House of L for your face, and this is Stella. I love this. Again, if you don't like shimmery blushes, these are not going to be for you, but if you do, these are just beautiful. I love this one. This is just like so fiery, really pretty on the cheeks. They're all beautiful. The highlighter's great. They're really smooth. They're not glittery. I just love the finish that they have on the skin. I tried the shade Petunia from Sydney Grace. This came in the May bundle, and this was a new launch for them. I was not concerned that it was going to be too dark, but with the rest of the palette, because it was a purple shade and a green shade, which I'll show you when we talk about eyeshadow, I kind of was like, oh, I should have got the light pink blush, but this actually worked out beautifully. It really diffused nicely on my skin, so it didn't give me like a clown look. So I love how this can work for a wide range of skin tones. And again, this was the deep one. They had a light version for the blush as well. One of my go-tos has been Pomelo Peach from House Labs. I remember I was looking for this, and it was in here for the May for my May video, but I love this shade so much. I really had to stop myself from getting the new Lavender Blonde shade from House Labs, at least for now, because I really like these. They're just huge blushes, and it's not that it's my goal to finish it, but I just don't need any more. Out of the 4 that I have, Pomelo Peach is the one that I wear the most. So. My Chains blush. So I was looking for this too, and I was like, I lost my blush again, but it's somewhere. It was here for the May video. I love my Chains blush. This is always a favorite of mine, and it might be for nostalgic reasons. It was one of my first Chanel purchases. Is it the best blush I've ever tried? No, but I really like it a lot. And I like when I find like a nice red blush, you know, and I do have a few that I really like. This one, and then At Night by Hourglass is another one that I love. I talk about that one a lot. just really beautiful blushes. I'm so glad I found her. So lastly, I have my blush palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. I believe I used these a couple of times in May just because I have them separated out. But all of these blushes are really beautiful. I thought this blush line was a really great release for the brand. And I love the variety of blushes and tones that they have. You know, they have vibrant, they have cool. These blushes will show up on a lot of different people. So I really like the blush releases from the brand. I like that they have it magnetic and you can just kind of house them the way that you want to. So yes, still going strong with my Unearthly blushes. So now we've come to the eyeshadow part of the video, which is usually what I talk about the most. And I do have quite a few palettes to talk about. So here we go. First, we're gonna talk about the Catch Yourself White limited edition palette from Adept Cosmetics. Now, I was on the fence about getting this. If you can remember, I talked about how I didn't need it, blah, blah, blah. And then of course, I think I got like an early release email or something and I was like, okay, I'm getting it. You know, I think I let my curiosity get the better of me for this. So let me tell you what I do like about the palette. The cream highlighters are beautiful. They are really, really nice. And I love creamy, balmy type highlighters. You know, that's always been something that I've been into. The issue is I did not need to add any more to my collection. But I think when you like a brand and you tend to like most of the things they come out with, I was like, I'm probably gonna like this, you know, but it just wasn't a need. Now, these two, the concept is nice, you know, that you could use these on the face and on the eyes and all of that. This Founder shade for me is really, really messy. It's messy to the point where I'm just like, am I gonna really use this? You know what I mean? I did see a lot of creators would swirl the shades together and kind of get this green, but then if you want to use them separately, you really have to have a small enough brush that can get into that color. And I did do that, but of course, you're only getting a little bit of the shadow on your eye at a time and the application takes a lot longer. The Dominion shade, I really like this one. This one was a lot easier to use. I think the lighter shades tend to be flakier, whereas they were able to do this shade really, really smooth. And again, I saw content creators swirl them all together, which kind of defeated the purpose because you just get, but you get this beautiful green, but you know, you can use them separately. But again, trying to get in with a brush, I mean, you really have to be meticulous about where you're placing this brush in order to get the shades out. I don't think I'm gonna reach for this as much as I thought I possibly would. And I just haven't been called to use it. Did I like the looks? Absolutely. Do I think this is beautiful and interesting? Yes. But is it going to be something that I'm going to use a lot? I would say probably not. Probably not. I do need to kind of put this with my other Adept palettes now that, you know, this video is over and see if it's something I am going to reach for. I really do like the highlighters. Now, not always in the mood for sparkly duochrome highlighters, you know? So that's another thing too. And these cream highlighters are not gonna work on my eyes because my hooded eyes will make them crease. So that's how I feel about Catch Yourself. Not necessarily mad that I bought it, but I'm also kind of like, you know, is this going to add value in your collection or is it just going to be something that you refer to? And I want to have less things that I'm just referring to because, you know, that's a lot. Next up, we have the Shroud Moonfall palette. And I finally caved on this. This was not a palette that I was going to get. I really caved on this when Dr. Ash and I went to Vegas and everyone complimented her eye look, like a lot of people, and no one said anything about mine. No one, not one. But the eye look that she created was absolutely breathtaking. It was like, just reminded me of a beautiful peacock. It was blue and green and it was just gorgeous. And it lasted all day on her eyes. And then I swatched it and I'm like, okay, these seem different than the ones in its freaking bats. So I'm gonna get this when it restocks. I'm so happy that I did. I'm so happy that I purchased this palette. This is like, even looking at it right now, because I've just been feeling so blah about eyeshadow palettes lately, but this has kind of revived me a little bit because I just enjoyed using this palette so much. I really did. These shimmers are very, very special. Just really happy to have this one. And, you know, waiting on the palette, I think, made it even more special for me, because I knew that I was gonna like it, you know, because I really thought about it before I purchased it. So really happy with this palette. All right, so next up, I have the Lethal Cosmetics Wildflower palette, which is a really beautiful palette. Unfortunately, I really think I could have just admired this one from afar. It's not that I don't think the looks were beautiful or anything like that, but I have lethal palettes that I really like more than this one. And to be honest, when I saw the palette reveal, I really did like it, but I knew at that moment I had lethal palettes that I liked more than this one. I did get the blush that came with this. I don't have that one out. The blush is absolutely beautiful. The lip cream is nice. I could have waited on this, but it is a beautiful palette. Let me know if you got this one and what you thought about it. Staying with lethal, I did do a video on the lethal palette that I created. This is one of 3, so I still have 2 more to do. But yeah, all in all, the 3 lethal palettes that I made, those, I don't know, I really, really love them. And this is called the Bordeaux palette. And I love this palette. This is just a go-to palette for me for any type of look that I want to do. I can do deep, smoky, one and done work. I can find something in this palette, and I really enjoyed this creation. So I'm still so happy with this, really happy with it. Next, I have 2 palettes from Adept. I have the Heather Austin palette and the Amunet New palette, and I still love both of these palettes. The Heather Austin palette is great. I love the choice of mattes in this palette. Sometimes I don't like the mattes that Adept chooses because sometimes there's only 2 and it's like, I need them to be good, you know? But I do like the shades in this palette for the mattes. And then the Amunet palette, this is just beautiful. I don't know what else to say. I think this is a great palette by the brand, and I'm happy to have this one. I know Adept is having a sale right now. Let me know if you're getting anything. I am passing on that sale. I need to pass on pretty much everything in life right now. A couple more products and then we'll be done. I have the Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly Cosmetics, and this one was gifted by the brand. I was definitely curious about this one because I do have the original Don't Be Jelly 9-pan, which was all like duo and multi-chromes. I like this palette way more than I thought I was. I was definitely curious about what a full Don't Be Jelly palette was gonna look like, and I feel like they executed this palette really, really nicely. Some people were telling me that some content creators were getting hard pan with this palette, but I did not have that issue with this palette. I definitely do need to use it. Again, I have to be honest, I have not worn this since the video. I just put it right with my May stuff and have not had a chance to come back around to it, but I'm happy to have it in my collection. I really thought it was a nice like full palette for Don't Be Jelly. And you know, with the original there were no mattes, so I love that they have mattes in here. So if you did get this one and you have the original, they make nice companions. I've got my BYOB palette. This was the Underwater palette. Love what I came up with this, and I love finding ways to use my indie singles, and coming up with different color stories is really fun. So that was this one. We have another palette video that's going to be coming up next week. It's going to be a mood palette. Haven't picked it out yet, but I'm very excited. Then we have the Woodfire Quad from Glaminatrix. Absolutely love this very, very much. This was just, it was just really beautiful. I'll have a video on that. I wore this with that really deep Maybelline lipstick. It just looks so good together. And then these 2 shadows here are from the Sydney Grace May bundle. So it was these 2 shadows. It was the lip topper, the blush, and then a cream, I think. I can't remember, but these were the two shadows that came with it. And of course, Sydney Grace always has a super consistent formula. So I love adding to my Sydney Grace singles with these bundles. So I have no regrets there. Nomad gifted me their Okavango Safari palette. Really enjoyed this palette as well. I'm thinking I like it more than the Natasha Denona in a way. If I could just take little pieces. Like the mattes to me seem to be a bit deeper than the Natasha Denona ones, the way they show up on the eye. But the shimmers in the Natasha Denona palette, I think I'm more of a fan of those shimmers. But this was a really beautiful palette, really nice release. I love, you know, all the details that Nomad does with their palettes, the embossings, and just the little touches from the location that inspired the palette. So this was gifted. Very happy to have this one. I'm thinking I would have bought this one if it was not gifted. And last but not least, we are going to end this video talking about the Heather Austin and Unearthly Cosmetics Resurgence palette. And I mentioned in my video that Heather Austin did reach out to me back in March about a project that she was doing. I had no idea. I was really humbled that she wanted to send it to me, and I had no idea what it was. And then I got a shipping notification in May that this is what I was getting. And you know, upon first glance, I was really stumped with what to do with this palette. And she talked about separating the palette into two halves, so that really helped me out.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Marky.
What's on the deck?
You want to charge your phone on the deck?
Yeah.
You don't want to charge it behind your bed?
No.
Okay. Hey, can you fix my door?
Do not have snacks.
No, you cannot have snacks, honey. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Apple?
No, Marky, the kitchen has closed.
It's heavy.
Huh?
But it's heavy.
Oh, the apple's healthy? Okay, you can have an apple.
Yeah.
Well, I said I wanted him to make good choices, so I can't be mad. So anyway, I really like the looks that I came up with this palette. And I'll be honest, like I did look at this and say, I don't know what to do with this. But once I figured out what to do with it, I thought the looks were really beautiful. Now she did also come out, if you got the whole set, you got this highlighter duo and you got the gloss. This gloss, I had to use as a topper because I just feel like it made my lips, because my lips don't have a whole lot of pigment, I feel like it made my lips look a little ashy. So this lip gloss to me is better off as a topper. The highlighter palette I think is really pretty. The Renewal shade is like a pink to gold duochrome. The Rebirth shade is like a iridescent pink highlighter, like duochrome highlighter. So I thought these were really nice. Again, I'm very thankful to Heather Austin and Unearthly for sending this to me. I thought that was very kind. So that's going to be it for the May roundup. I will have a separate video for fragrances, but this is all the beauty that I tried in the month of May. Let me know what you've been loving and wearing. It's kind of hard to think back. I actually had to like look back through my videos to make sure that I included everything because I'm waiting so late into June to film this. But I really love going back and seeing what I used each month, and I like kind of reporting back how I feel about things. Like, do I have any regrets about anything that I purchased, things like that. I just think it's important for me to take note of that. So let me know what you've been loving in your collection. And with that, thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another one. I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice, stay safe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.